Tokyo, Japan is one of the most sophisticated railway networks in the world, and it's one of the most pleasurable to use. Join me in this episode as I show you some of the many trains, stations, and railway lines that keep this busy city moving. My name is Ken, and I'm a Canadian with a passion for Japanese trains, and I'm here to share it with you. Welcome to Japanese Train and Travel. Our journey begins here at Ueno Station, and since I was in transit en route from Toronto to Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, I only had a few hours to explore Tokyo's railway network.
Hey, good morning everyone. This is Ken here from Japanese Train Travel, and right behind me there is the entrance to the platforms at Ueno Station. Ueno Station is the start of many Shinkansen journeys, JR East Commuter Rail, and for me it's the start of the 5-hour tour by train of the city of Tokyo. So let's get started with the Tokyo Metro right behind there. All right, first thing guys, you have to check out this escalator. This has got to be the most coolest thing I've ever seen. It descends to the bottom. We're heading over here to the Ginza Line, which is Tokyo's oldest metro. But look at this. It it starts going down. It turns into a moving travelator or whatever you want to call it, and then descends a little bit further down to the entrance to the Ginza Line. All right, so where we are heading right now is we are on the Ginza Line over here, and we are at Ueno Station, and we're going to head down not to Shibuya yet. We're going to head over to Ginza Station, and we're going to be taking another subway line. But let's head down to platform level. Train's supposed to be here at 5:07, and yeah, let's have some fun. All right, so for the first part of our journey, as I mentioned, we're on the Ginza Line at Ueno Station, and we're going to continue a few stops up to Ginza, where we are going to connect with the Marunouchi Sen. All right, so while we're waiting for our train, which is supposed to be here at 5:06, it's a little bit of history. The Ginza Subway Line was actually the first metro line to open in Tokyo, and it's one of two subway lines that actually utilizes third rail power. A lot of the Tokyo Metro lines use overhead electricity, much like the Yamanote Line, which basically have wires at the top with a pantograph pickup. So right now we're waiting for our train. We got a good 13 minutes or so, and yeah, I'll touch base with you when the train comes in.
I got a little confused as a train heading in the direction I was traveling arrived on the opposite side. It was out of service, and being that it was the start of day for the Ginza Line, I guess they were just realigning it and getting ready for its shift. A few minutes later, our train arrived right on time at 5:06. The Series 1000 cars are the workhorse of the Ginza Line. Built between 2012 and 2017, they are quite modern. However, the retro look of the yellow livery with the red stripes is a throwback to the original 1000 series cars. The interior colors of orange and yellow give a very warm and friendly character to the train, almost the essence of a sunrise or a sunset. And one feature that I truly love about these trains are the digital displays located above each door, which provide useful information including real-time location, which side of the train to exit from, and even where the escalators are relevant to the platform. At Ginza Station, after seeing off our 1000 series train, we made our way up the stairs to our next line. The next line was one I hadn't ridden in over 17 years.
So the next part of our trip is going to be on the Marunouchi Sen, so we're going to go ahead from Ginza all the way to Asakusa Mitsuke, And we're going to transfer back onto the Ginza line right here. Now, one of the reasons why I really wanted to ride the Marunouchi line is because it was one of the first metros that I had ridden when I first came to Tokyo in 2006. And they've actually got some new upgraded cars called the 2000 series, which you will see entering the station very soon. And yeah, like I have a bit of a thing for red cars. I love the intensity of them and the colors. So this is my first time riding and actually looking at the interior. Alright, so this looks like it's going to be one of those rare occasions where I virtually have an entire subway car all to myself. So once again, we are on the Marunouchi Sen. It was one of the first metros that I've ever ridden, and it was the first metro to be built in Tokyo after World War II had ended. And it also uses third rail power, just like the Ginza line. And yeah, this is the 2000 series train that we just introduced, I guess around the time of the pandemic, 2020, 2021. Super rail fans can correct me on that.
At Asakusa Mitsuke Station, we part ways with the Marunouchi Sen and transfer over to the Ginza line using a very smart engineered solution called cross-platform transfer. No need for escalators or steps. You simply cross over the platform, and right on the other side is the Ginza line, onwards to Shibuya Station. Burrowing underneath the expensive real estate of Omotesando, our train climbs out of the tunnel and into a station I had been longing to visit for the last 3 years. In 2020, the Ginza line unveiled a stunning new station building.
Alright guys, we've reached the end of the metro portion of our tour. And the reason why I brought you guys here to Shibuya's Ginza Station is because, I mean, just wow. Take a look at the architecture of this station. Shibuya Station on the Ginza line is not new, but what happened was they relocated the platforms to just over the Shibuya area. Right now it is raining cats and dogs, so I will not be going out there. But yeah, check out the scale of this station. It's just really, really beautiful. And right there are the 1000 series Ginza line trains that we were just on. So now we're going to head over to the JR platforms and begin the JR portion. So just to quickly show you guys, that was right back there is where the original Ginza line platforms were. And this is where it is now. All right, let's get over to JR.
In the center of Tokyo, it's the 11 metro lines that make up the Toei Metro and the Tokyo Metro that move the bulk of people. However, getting into Tokyo requires using one of the many private railway companies, including the largest of them, JR East. We're now traveling aboard the Yamanote Line's Series 235 en route to another station that I have to show you. The Yamanote Line is Tokyo's loop line, connecting a number of major stations and tourist destinations. In 2020, a brand new station opened along the Yamanote Line in time for the Tokyo Olympics.
Alright guys, we've just arrived at Takanawa Gateway Station. This is the newest station on the Keihin, Tohoku, and Yamanote lines. Right over there is the Tokyo Ueno Line, which does not stop at the station. It just pulled out of probably Shinagawa. Not probably, it is Shinagawa. But check out the architectural marvel of the station. The station was built, I believe, around 2020 or 2021, and it was built essentially in time for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, which of course happened in 2021. But look at this. This is beautiful. And I'm just going to walk over to this side here because there's a nice yard over here where they park some of the trains. Over there is, I believe, the E233 train of the Ueno Tokyo Line. And interestingly, back there, I'm not sure if you can see it right there, is the freaking Sphere Odoriko. It's a new premium train operated by JR East, which operates from Tokyo Station all the way to Izuku.
After a brief tour of Takanawa Gateway Station, it was time to continue along our journey, backtracking in the opposite direction to Shinagawa Station, and this time on the series E233 trains of the Keihin Tohoku Line. The Keihin Tohoku Line parallels the Yamanote Line between Nippori Station and Shinagawa, and it can be a great alternative. The Keihin Tohoku skips a number of stations that are not commonly used by tourists, and it tends to be a little less busier at times. A few minutes later, and we arrive at Shinagawa Station. Here, the plan was to transfer over to the Ueno Tokyo Line for the run to Akabane, but I took some time to do a bit of rail fanning. The first train to catch my attention was the series E257, the Odoriko. This was an out-of-service train heading to Tokyo Station to pick up passengers for the route between Tokyo and Izuku along the beautiful Pacific coastal route. This line is at the top of my bucket list, and I hope to ride the Sphere Odoriko, a premium limited express version, along this route. Departing on the other side of the platform was the series E657, which operates the Hitachi services from Tokyo all the way to Iwaki in Fukushima Prefecture. And over here, to my surprise, was its predecessor, the E653, painted in the original Japan National Rail colors. It was operating as a special limited express. However, I'm not sure exactly what route this train was operating on. All I knew is that it was time to join the E233 trains of the Ueno Tokyo Line for Akabane. At 20 minutes in length, the journey to Akabane is the longest part of our trip. And through the core of Tokyo, our train runs express, stopping at Tokyo Station and Ueno, with great views of the N700 series trains of the Tokaido Shinkansen whizzing past us. And after a brief stop at Tokyo Station, our train joins the Takasaki Main Line, paralleling the Yamanote Line and the Keihin Tohoku Line, before branching out to the station of Takasaki. Outside the window looking onto a yard, there was one famous train that caught my attention, the Cassiopeia, one of the famous sleepers that used to run between Tokyo Station and Sapporo in the north. It now operates as a luxury charter train service through JR East, and I hope to ride it one day when I have money. As the space between the railway line and the buildings begins to narrow, our train slowly pulls into our next station and the furthest north along our journey, the station of Akabane. At the stop, we see off our E233 trains and continue along our journey.
This right here is the Rinkai line, which I believe operates on the same tracks as the Saikyo line, but again, I'll post correct information in the comments area.
Returning to the core of Tokyo, the Rinkai line runs predominantly underground. That's why I opted to use the Saikyo line to maximize my daylight exposure. The Saikyo line runs from Omiya in the east, all the way along the western part of the Yamanote Line to Tokyo, and in fact the world's busiest station. And along the way, we passed by the yards of the Seibu Railways, where the brand new 001 series trains were parked. Introduced in 2019, they run limited express services along the Seibu Railways. 14 minutes later, we arrived at Shinjuku Station, the world's busiest. And right here on the Cho line is a train I highly recommend if you want to head out someplace different. This is the Series 353 train, the Azusa, which runs from Shinjuku Station all the way to Matsumoto in Nagano. It's a fantastic ride, and if you sit on the left-hand side of the train, you can actually see some breathtaking scenery. I'll have to redo this trip again someday.
All right, we got 2 more trains to go with the Chuo-sen right behind me. That's going to take us to Ochanomizu, and actually no, we have 3 more trains. All right, let's get on this one.
With 2 more trains remaining, we're nearing the end of our exploration of Tokyo by rail. Having ridden a number of lines in the last little while, we have still barely scratched the surface of what Tokyo's railway network has to offer. As mentioned before, there are many private railway companies, railway lines, and numerous different types of trains to ride on. As we race along the Kanda River, we eventually meet up with the Sobu line and its E231 trains as we race along towards Ochanomizu Station. The Sobu line train is scheduled to meet up with our train with about 1 minute apart, enough time to run across the platform and catch this E231 for the final leg of our journey. I had accidentally stepped into the woman's car, but thankfully being a Sunday, the rules were not enforced. And crossing over the streets of Akihabara, we pull into Akihabara Station.
Wow, guys, we have done it. 3 hours. I thought it was going to be like a 5-hour tour of Tokyo because of all the connections and everything, but literally except for the kind of long wait at Shinagawa for the Ueno Tokyo line, everything went pretty smoothly. And as you can see, we're sending off the Sobu line over here. And I decided instead of going back to Ueno to go over to Akihabara and just chill out for a little bit. I'm a bit of a geek like that. All right, enjoy this day.
If you've made it this far through the video, thank you so much for watching. Please follow and subscribe. This is Ken from Japanese Train and Travel.